Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. Thanks again for joining us. Our guest is Wendy Greuel. She is the controller for the city of Los Angeles. She is running for mayor. That election will be held in March 2013. And as a result, I want to speak with you, controller, about the budget in the city of Los Angeles. You are also on the city council. You know it well. Looks as if we are facing about a $72 million gap in the next 6 months. What do you make of that? Some would say it's better than it had been.
Well, I think, yes, it's better, I guess, than last year when they had a $250 million.
Right.
But the challenge is the fact that we don't have some of the same, none of the easy solutions to those problems. There's no quick fix to that. It really is about talking about structural change. That's why I produced a document audit this year, a white paper on performance-based budgeting, that we really look at core services, what is it that we're doing, how much does it cost, and make choices based on that, and really go back to me, which is the core services of public safety, public works, and creating jobs.
It's interesting because right now we see that there's this deficit of about $72 million, but that doesn't take into account the windstorm, the Occupy LA costs. So are we facing even greater deficits in the future, or do you feel as if the city is starting to turn around? And on the state side, revenues are up a little bit.
Well, I think we will know more after the first of the year when you have sales tax, property tax in. You'll know a little bit more of where we are in the budget. But there's still a projected deficit next year going forward. It's still a tough time ahead, and
no doubt.
Really I'm focused on making sure that we are being frugal in what we're doing. I've identified more than $100 million in potential waste or fraud or abuse that we need to get back on track. So it's going to take being fiscally responsible as well.
I want to talk to you about fraud and abuse. As you know, this year has been filled with reports of fraud and abuse in city government and county government. I was shocked to learn that under city law, it had been the rule that if someone saw fraud, waste, and abuse, they were expected to report the fraud and abuse. Not required, but expected. I guess that's changed.
I've pushed as the city controller to say we need tougher rules there, that general managers need to share with us, employees need to share with us when this fraud is happening, and most importantly to allow us to ensure that it doesn't happen again, and to make sure that we're looking out for that risk when we look at other departments. So I'm pushing for that as the city controller.
And as we understand it, the city council is looking to have that obligation to be required, and all reports go to you, the controller's office. I think this new provision went in October. Have you started to see an uptick in reports? I mean, on the one hand, I hope so, but on the other hand, I hope not.
Well, what has to happen is an ordinance change, which the city attorney is drafting to be part of it.
So we're not there quite yet.
But I went to the council and asked them to do this because I wanted that authority. But I'm also working with the general managers and making sure that they are informing me when these things are happening, because we can ensure that in another department, if it happened in building and safety, it might happen in housing department. If it happened in another division, it might happen there. So we want to get in front of it.
Now, here's the challenge for the controller, is that we would like to ferret out fraud and abuse, but people are scared. They're scared of their jobs. They're scared of ratting out their friends. If I can use a cliche from the from the yard, but how do we prevent that?
Well, this is confidential. When they call
it?
It is confidential when they call the controller's waste, fraud, and abuse hotline. If you want to report something and let us know that that is occurring, there are ways again that we protect our employees. The bottom line is, if they see something that's happening that is wasteful spending, that's taxpayer dollars, they need to call, whether anonymously or report it to the controller's office when it happens.
So this is the key. The whistleblower will be protected.
The whistle will be protected. We have many instances where we have people who do call, let us know, and we move on those immediately.
Okay, she's Wendy Greuel. She's the controller for the city of Los Angeles. My name is Brad Pomerance. Thank you for joining us. Back to HLN.